Did something happen? Like, did you walk into a group of people and, I don't know, you tripped and you felt bad about something, right? And then you get more anxious, right? So are there things going on underneath the surface that are impacting you? Like, let's look into that, right? Because that's the biggest part of the iceberg, right? Then your conscious mind, we could start thinking about, okay, what's going on? What are you actively thinking about, right? So this is where sometimes cognitive behavioral techniques can come into mind. Like, are you thinking like, oh no, I'm scared, it isn't gonna go well, right? Like, are you having thoughts? Are the thoughts then making you more anxious, right? What's going on in your conscious mind, right? I would also be very interested in the defenses around you. So for example, do you tend to avoid, right? Has this been getting worse for 3 months, but you just, your mind wouldn't acknowledge it, right? And by the time you have to acknowledge it, now it's really bad, right? Or do you not avoid and like this just started happening and you want to nip it in the bud, right? So I would be interested in the defense mechanisms, right, that are girding your conscious self. And I would be interested in the character structure. What decisions are you then making? Like, are you going anyway? Right? Are you having trouble so sometimes you avoid? Are you then making decisions that make you late and that causes problems? How does it impact you once you're there? Are you engaging differently with people, doing your work differently? So I want to understand the character structure, and ultimately you understand all of this by probing the self that's riding along on top of it. And then what is the experience of that self? Like, do you see that, okay, this is a problem and I want to address it, but like, look, I know that I'm good at what I do. And, you know, I mean, this isn't some like awful thing about me. I just have to deal with it, right? Or is your self impacted where you start thinking, maybe I can't do this anymore. I'm not good enough. Or, you know, we want to understand what's the experience of the self, right? And if we do all of that, how is it that we don't get to a place where we can understand that anxiety, right? And we can make things better. So just like in physical health, okay, maybe we can't, but that is a dramatic outlier. If we bring ourselves to bear, we would say, you should not have to have this in you, right? Because it is something negative. It is making unhappiness for you. It is taking away from empowerment, right? And it's also taking away from humility, right? Because if someone's beating up on themselves, you're beating up on yourself about it, then that's not humility, right? Then that's being sort of falsely persecutory, right? This is not an honest humility to that. It leads us away from health. So it's like, we don't want it to be this way, right? Because that is working against agency and gratitude. So we can understand it and we can go after it and make it better.
One of the most common questions I get on the internet, and I get a lot of questions, is what can be done to improve confidence?